Hey guys, in this video we're going to do another 100 top vocabulary terms that will help you pass your real estate exams in less time. So let's get right into it.
Balloon mortgage. A mortgage in which a lump sum of the remaining borrowed amount is repaid in a single payment at the end of a loan period. Easement in gross. A legal right granted to a specific individual or entity to use or access a portion of another person's property for a specific purpose. An easement in gross is typically personal and non-transferable. Triple net lease. In a triple net lease, the tenant is responsible for paying not only the base rent amount but also all property expenses, including property taxes, insurance, and maintenance costs. Negative cash flow. Negative cash flow occurs when a property's expenses are greater than its income. Implied agency. An agency agreement established by the actions of the parties as opposed to an express agreement.
Hey everybody, just a quick request. If you're getting some value out of this video, please be sure to like and subscribe because the more the channel grows, the more free content we can put together for y'all. Thank you so much, and let's get back into it.
Amortization. The gradual repayment of a loan over time through scheduled installments, which include both principal and interest, until the total amount is fully paid off. Cooperative owners. Cooperative owners do not own their units, but rather own a share of the building. Lis pendens. A legal means for serving notice that there is a claim and a pending legal action against a piece of property. Scarcity. Scarcity is the lack of available real estate in comparison to its demand. Proprietary lease is a type of lease granted to the owner of a cooperative. Since co-op owners own shares of the building and do not own their individual units, proprietary leases dictate the terms of possession and use. Closing statement. A closing statement is a financial summary indicating funds that are due from or owed to the buyer and seller in a real estate transaction. Gross income multiplier. A calculation used to estimate the value of an income-producing property by dividing the sales price by the anticipated potential gross income. Express agency. An agency agreement established through a formal agreement where a real estate agent or broker is authorized by a client to act on their behalf. Brownfield. A former commercial or industrial property that has been abandoned or is underutilized due to fears of potential environmental contamination caused by hazardous waste. Law of agency. The laws which define the roles, duties, and responsibilities of an agent and principal in an agreement or transaction. Deficiency judgment. A legal ruling where a lender obtains a court order to pursue the borrowers for the remaining debt after a foreclosure sale, aiming to collect the shortfall between the sale proceeds and the outstanding loan balance. Modified gross lease. A lease agreement that combines elements of both gross and net leases, where the tenant pays a base rent amount while also being responsible for certain specified operating expenses. Special warranty deed. A legal document used to transfer property ownership to which the seller guarantees to defend the title against any claims or defects that arose during their ownership, but not before. Fiduciary. A fiduciary is an individual or entity, such as a real estate agent or broker, who is entrusted with the duty to act in the best interest of their client. Capital improvement. A capital improvement is any alteration or repair that substantially adds to the value of a property. Origination fee. The origination fee is the fee a lender charges for funding a mortgage loan. Equalization rate. The equalization rate is a calculation used to adjust the difference between the assessed value and the actual market value, helping to ensure uniform property taxation. Annual cap. The annual cap is the maximum amount the interest rate on an adjustable rate loan can increase over 1 year. Consideration clause. The consideration clause ensures that there is a mutual exchange of something of value to make a contract legally binding. Estoppel. Estoppel is a document used as proof to certify facts pertaining to a person's legal rights and interests in a property. An estoppel certificate is typically requested for a tenanted property in lieu of a signed lease to disclose the current lease terms. Quitclaim deed. A quitclaim deed is a contract that allows one party, the grantor, to assign ownership to another, the grantee, without stating the nature of the grantor's interest or rights and while making no warranties. Market value. The market value is the estimated price at which a property would reasonably sell between a willing buyer and a willing seller in an open and competitive market, considering factors such as location, condition, demand, and comparable properties. Power of attorney. The power of attorney grants someone the legal authority to act on behalf of another person, allowing them to make decisions, sign documents, and carry out activities related to the contract, including for real estate transactions. Codicil. A codicil is a legal document that serves as an amendment or an addition to an existing will, allowing individuals to make changes or modifications. Homestead laws. Homestead laws are laws to protect a homeowner against the loss of their primary residence due to creditors. Timeshare. A property ownership structure where multiple individuals or parties have the rights to use and occupy the same unit or property for a specified period each year. Living trust. A living trust is a legal arrangement established during a person's lifetime that conveys legal title of the property to a named beneficiary. Credit. When a seller has prepaid their real estate taxes, they can expect to see a credit on their closing statement for the remaining calendar days in the year. Mechanics lien. A mechanics lien is a lien placed on a property by a contractor, builder, or tradesperson for unpaid debt for work performed. Addendum. An additional document or provision that modifies, clarifies, or supplements the terms and conditions of the original contract, serving as an addition to the contract. Primary mortgage market. The primary mortgage market is the main mortgage loan marketplace where lenders originate new mortgages and borrowers obtain financing directly from these lenders. Deed in lieu of foreclosure. A deed in lieu of foreclosure is a voluntary agreement between a borrower and their lender where the borrower transfers the property's ownership to the lender instead of going through the foreclosure process. This is usually done to avoid the negative effects of a foreclosure, including damage to one's credit score. Performance. Performance is the act of fulfilling one's obligations in a contract. Wraparound mortgage. A financing arrangement where the seller retains the original loan and an additional mortgage loan is taken out by the buyer while also assuming responsibility for the existing mortgage, combining the two loans into a single payment. Fee simple estate. A fee simple estate is the highest form of real estate ownership, an estate where the owner has total control over the property without any legal restrictions. Net lease. A net lease is a lease agreement that requires a tenant to pay the rent plus a share of the property's operating expenses. Section. A measurement in the rectangular survey system that represents an area of 1 square mile and is 1/136th of a township. A section is equivalent to 640 acres. Group boycott. Group boycotts occur when 2 or more brokerage firms agree not to work with another broker with the intention of damaging the business of that broker. Accretion. Accretion is the accumulation of land over time by natural forces. Involuntary lien. An involuntary lien is a lien or judgment put against a property without the owner's consent. Open listing. A listing agreement where the seller allows multiple real estate professionals to market and attempt to sell the property, with only the agent who successfully brings a buyer receiving a commission. Effective age. The effective age is the perceived age of a property based on its appearance, upkeep, and overall condition as opposed to its actual age. Local level of government. Property taxes are typically established at the local level of government. Assessed value. The assessed value is the value of a piece of property used for tax purposes. Leasehold estate. A leasehold estate is an estate that grants the temporary right to use and possess a piece of property for a period of time but does not grant legal ownership of the land or real estate. Adjustable rate mortgage. An adjustable rate mortgage, or ARM, is a type of home loan where the interest rate fluctuates periodically based on market conditions, resulting in changes to the borrower's monthly mortgage payment over time. Escrow. Escrow are funds or documents that belong to a transaction and are held by a third party until a particular condition has been met, such as the closing of a real estate sale. RESPA. RESPA is a federal law that was designed to protect consumers in real estate transactions and requires lenders to provide borrowers with specific disclosures about loan terms and settlement costs. Junior lien. A junior lien is a lien whose priority is below that of a superior lien against a property.
Hey everybody, just a quick request. If you're getting some value out of this video, please be sure to like and subscribe because the more the channel grows, the more free content we can put together for y'all. Thank you so much, and let's get back into it.
Buy down. A buy down is an upfront payment of fees or prepaid interest on a mortgage loan that lowers the borrower's interest rate for a specified period, leading to temporary reductions in monthly mortgage payments during this time. Fair Housing Act of 1968. The Fair Housing Act of 1968, part of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, is a federal law that prohibits discrimination in the sale, rental, and financing of housing. Avulsion. An avulsion is a sudden and significant loss or removal of land due to natural forces such as earthquakes or landslides, which alters the boundaries of the property. Package mortgage. A package mortgage is a type of loan that finances both the purchase of the real property and personal property, such as appliances or furniture, as part of a single mortgage agreement. USDA loan. A USDA loan is a mortgage loan program offered by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the USDA, that provides financing options for eligible homebuyers in rural areas, often featuring low or no down payment requirements and favorable interest rates to encourage rural development. Hypothecation. Hypothecation means the process of using an asset as collateral to secure a loan or mortgage. Air rights. Air rights are the legal rights to the space above a property that allow the owner the right to utilize or restrict the use of that space for construction, development, selling, or leasing the rights to others. Home inspection. A home inspection is an inspection for the property's condition conducted by a professional inspector to identify any existing or potential issues that may affect its safety or value. Sales comparison approach. The sales comparison approach is an appraisal method that compares a subject property to the comparable properties, including others recently sold in the area with similar characteristics. Functional obsolescence. Functional obsolescence is the reduction of a property's desirability due to outdated design or elements or features that cannot be easily changed or updated. Amendment. An amendment is a formal change or alteration made to the original terms and conditions of a contract. Down payment. A down payment is the initial payment made by the homebuyer, usually as a percentage of the purchase price. This is to secure a property and reduce the total amount being financed. Liquidity. Liquidity is the speed at which an investment property may be converted back into cash. Surety bond. A surety bond is a form of insurance used to compensate an aggrieved party who files a legitimate claim against a broker who mishandles funds or otherwise causes some kind of financial loss by failing to fulfill their professional obligations. Market allocation. Market allocation is an illegal practice where the competitors within an industry agree to divide a market or territory amongst themselves, limiting competition and allocating customers between themselves. Community property. Community property is a legal term to define the terms of ownership of property owned jointly by spouses. Gross rent multiplier. The gross rent multiplier is a method for estimating the value of an income property by comparing its cost to the amount of the gross rental income, or GCI, it produces. Predatory lending practices. Exploitative and unethical tactics used by lenders, often targeting vulnerable borrowers by offering unfair or deceptive loan terms, excessive fees, high interest rates, and other manipulative strategies that take advantage of borrowers' limited financial knowledge or circumstances. Gross lease. A gross lease is a type of agreement where a tenant pays a set rent every month and the landlord is responsible for the property's expenses such as taxes and maintenance. Asbestos. Asbestos is a fibrous mineral used for fireproofing and insulation, now considered to be a hazardous substance. Cooperative. A cooperative is a housing arrangement where individuals collectively own shares in a corporation or association, granting them the rights to occupy a specific unit within the cooperative building. Ad valorem taxes. Ad valorem tax is a tax based off of the assessed value of the property, i.e. the real estate property tax. Megan's Law. Megan's Law is a law that requires public notification and registration of convicted sex offenders. Rectangular survey system. Also referred to as the government survey system, it is a system that legally identifies, measures, and describes real property using longitude and latitude lines for reference. Voluntary alienation. The voluntary transfer of property ownership from one party to another. Mutual consent. Mutual consent occurs when two or more parties agree to the terms and provisions inside of a contract. Certificate of occupancy. The certificate of occupancy is a document that certifies that a building complies with the local building department and zoning guidelines and states that it can be occupied. Legal description. A legal description is a detailed written explanation that accurately identifies a specific property's boundaries and location. A legally acceptable property description is used for deed purposes and property transfers. Clean Water Act. The Clean Water Act is a federal law that aims to protect and restore the quality of water resources by regulating pollution and increasing water quality standards. Exclusive right to sell is a listing agreement in which the listing broker collects a commission for the sale if anyone, including the seller, procures a buyer. Percentage lease is a lease agreement where the tenant's rent is based on a percentage of their sales or revenue, typically used in retail or commercial properties. Comparable market analysis, CMA. A CMA is a valuation technique used by brokers and salespersons to compare a subject property to comparable properties in the area in order to determine the fair market value from a sales perspective. Lots and block system. This is a method of describing and identifying properties within a subdivision or plat map using specific lot and block numbers. The lot and block system creates an organized way to locate and distinguish individual parcels of land within a larger development. Tenancy in severalty. Tenancy in severalty occurs when a property has a single owner and the owner has exclusive rights to the property. Foreclosure. A foreclosure is a legal process through which a lender or creditor takes possession of a property due to the borrower's failure to make mortgage payments in order to recover all or some of their outstanding debt. A foreclosure is a type of involuntary alienation. Accession. When improvements or additions are made to a property to increase the property's value or functionality of the property. Equitable right of redemption. A legal principle that allows a delinquent owner to reclaim their property by paying off the outstanding debt, including interest and penalties, within a specified period, giving them an opportunity to regain ownership before the foreclosure process is fully completed. Non-homogeneity. The uniqueness of land, which means that no two pieces of real estate are identical. Township. A township is a geographic area in the rectangular survey system identified by its location from the baseline and principal meridian lines measuring 6 square miles on each side and containing 36 sections. Closing. The final stage of a property transaction where all the necessary documents are signed, funds are exchanged, and the ownership of the property is transferred from the seller to the buyer. Income capitalization approach. The income cap approach is a method used to estimate the value of an income-producing property by analyzing its income potential by applying a capitalization rate that reflects the market's expected return on the investment. Reconciliation. Reconciliation is the process of analyzing and adjusting multiple valuation approaches and data to arrive at the final estimate of a property's value. Kickback. A kickback is a fee or bonus usually paid for the referral of business to someone. Right of redemption. The right of redemption is the right of an owner to reclaim their property that has gone into foreclosure by paying off the mortgage in which they defaulted, as long as it is before the completion of the foreclosure sale. Earnest money. Earnest money is a deposit made by the buyer to demonstrate their serious intention to purchase the property, serving as a sign of commitment when submitting an offer to purchase. Subordination clause. A subordination clause is a contractual provision that establishes the priority of one debtor lien over another.
Hey everybody, thank you very much for checking out our flashcard review. I hope you found it helpful. If you take the examination and you found that it helped you pass, let us know in the comments. That would be super awesome. We love listening to that. One of the big things that we love to do is we like to dedicate ourselves to our students and listen to the comments and feedback. Don't forget, we also offer these flashcards that are printable for sale. The link in the description below. And if you like the content, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We also have tons of questions and all kinds of stuff that are available on our YouTube channel for preparation for examinations in real estate. Good luck with your studies and good luck on your exams. And thanks for checking us out. I look forward to having you in a session coming up.